important later on in my story. And my father is actually the person that named me. He named me Eunice Kathleen Wayman. And I tell you, our house was so full of music and joy. We had 8 children, and I was number 6. I was born February 21st, 1933. And with all that music, how could I not become a musical virtuoso? I started playing piano when I was 3 years old. And do you know, I still remember that first song I learned to play. It was God Be With You Until We Meet Again. God be with you. God be with you. God be with you until we meet again. Well, I got to play that song over and over and over. It's no wonder I remember it. I told you my mom was a Methodist minister. Well, I played in the church, of course. And then when I was 12 years old, do you know I did my first piano recital? Public recital in the community center. Now, I was born in a suburb of Atlanta. Never mind that it was 2 hours away in a place called Tryon, North Carolina. But how could I not love music? I was just in that environment all the time. And then, when we did our concert, back in 1945 it was, well, I was so excited, and my parents were so excited too, that we got there extra early. And my mom and dad sat right on the front row. And when I peeped out through that curtain and saw them sitting out there, I was the proudest little 12-year-old girl you could ever imagine. Well, it came time for us to get started with the concert. I came out, and I was dressed for the occasion. And my parents weren't there. There were a couple of white patrons in their seats. And I surveyed that room, and way in the back, there they were. Well, I just flatly refused to play. I was not going to play a note until the proper adjustments were made. Now, I've always been strong-willed and determined, and I didn't play until my parents were in those seats. And I tell you, I made them proud. After all, Mama was the one she got a second job to help pay for my music lessons. And the family that she worked for, they saw something in me. And so they said, we'll give her scholarships. So my mother and father were the reason for me to even be there. Well, time passed. I think that experience with racism was my first time to have those seeds sown to make me want to become a civil rights activist. Well, time passed, and we moved to Philadelphia, and I was in the Juilliard Conservatory of Music. I graduated, and then I tried to get into the Curtis Institute. Of course, I had to do an audition, and I didn't see anything wrong with that, and I gave it my best. Well, I was told that I was rejected. I was disappointed, but then later I found out that it wasn't because my performance was bad. It was another bout with that animal called racism. And that's when my passion for the civil rights movement really took effect. And from that time forward, I continued to be an activist. As a matter of fact, my repertoire of songs became a combination of spiritual and jazz and mostly protest music. And I ended up writing at least 500 pieces of music, and I released about 60 albums. And one of the songs that you might have heard of was To Be Young, Gifted, and Black. Now, that's a song that was played throughout the movement in a lot of different places. And Aretha Franklin, honey, she took that song and cut herself a new dress. She owns every piece of material that she ever sings, she just turns it into gold. To be young, gifted, and black, and that's a fact. Now, that was a tribute to Lorraine Hansberry, and if you don't know who she is, she was a playwright, and she wrote A Raisin in the Sun. Yeah. Now, another song that I love was Brown Baby. That's another one. And then there was Four Women. And you probably heard that if you saw the movie that Tyler Perry has out now for colored girls. Four women. Four Negro women. They had different textures of hair, and their skins are different colors, and they're all with different backgrounds, and some of their hair is kinky just like mine under my breath. Four women. My skin is black. My arms are long. My hair is woolly. My back is strong, but it's strong enough to bear all of the pain that's inflicted again and again and again. And then there are 3 more verses. I'll let you go find those for yourself. Well, anyway, I was into civil rights from the 60s to 70s. And how did I get to be Nina Simone? Well, all that time ago, when I graduated from high school, and I graduated from the conservatory, and then I realized, well, I need a job. But my career was to be music, just playing music. All I ever wanted to do was just play the piano, and I was good at it. And I didn't like titles, but somehow I got dubbed with the title High Priestess of Soul, and I fought it, but that's who I am. In 1954, I got a gig at the Midtown Bar and Grill in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And do you know, my mother was a Methodist minister, remember? And I couldn't be in a bar playing the devil's music and using my name, Eunice Kathleen Wayman. Are you kidding me? So I changed my name to Nina Simone. And it stuck. And Mama didn't have a problem with it. So in 1959, I had my first big concert in New York in the town hall. And I'm telling you, I had grown in popularity, and my skills just kept getting better and better, and I had a following of young people. And that's when my career really took off in 1959. Well, along the way, I had a husband or two. And the one that bears mentioning, Andy Stroud. In 1961, we got married, and he was my business manager. And we were partners, but the thing that came from that union was our little brown baby, Celeste Simone Stroud. And Celeste is a musical entity in her own right. If you listen to WCLK 91.9, shameless plug, they play her music, they play my music. But anyway, I hate to admit this publicly, but I have been told that I am kind of quirky, and that I use my audiences, and I'm kind of controlling. Well, I can share with you an experience that I had in Sweden when this man decided that he was going to get up and walk out of the room while I was playing. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. I wouldn't play anymore until he sat down. And he sat down. And I finished my concert. Now, since I'm in the Atlanta area, shamelessly again, I have to repeat this story. There's a person named Esther Culver. Now, who in the world is Esther? She's one of the members of Kuumba, Storytellers of Georgia. Won an award like you wouldn't believe, telling stories. And she said that she was back in the 70s at Vassar University, and that I took an extra long time getting there, and somebody said, "It's about time." Well, I just left the room. I didn't even do it. And so I do apologize, Esther, and I hope you accept my apology. Well, I'm exhausted at this point. And I told you my voice wasn't because I haven't spoken in 8 years. So I'm just going to move along right now. And I do thank you so much. I'm on my best behavior. I'm not going to abuse you. Thank you for listening.